it's me, Tina Thomas, and with me I have Richa, and we are from ILT. So we are having our role play session, and the next role play what we are going to do is about sleep apnea, where a 38-year-old man is coming with sleep apnea. He's having problems with sleep apnea, and he's not able to sleep properly. He's having disturbance in sleep pattern, and he's feeling that he is getting choked to death. So that is what his problem is. So here I'm going to take the role as a patient, and Richa is going to take the role of the nurse. Okay, and let's not go much more into it.
Yeah, because it's a very detailed explanatory role play. So we will start
with the role play. And Richa, can we start?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Richa, and I'm one of the registered nurses working in this hospital. How may I address you?
You can call me Martin.
All right, Martin, you seem to be really worried. Is everything all right?
No, nurse. The thing is, I'm having a lot of problems. The thing is, I'm not able to sleep at night.
Oh, okay. Could you give me more details about what's worrying you?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not able to sleep at night because of the snoring what I have.
Okay.
And it's not a small snoring, nurse. I have a loud snoring. That's what my wife tells me. Like, nobody can be able to sleep next to me. That's the snoring that I have. And then, because of that, I become very tired.
Oh, okay.
So I thought this is not going to help me out in my long run. I'm not able to focus on my work. So I thought I'll come to you and get some advice or maybe some treatment for this.
I appreciate you for coming down here. And don't worry, we can look into it, okay? But for my better understanding, I need to ask you a couple more questions. Can I?
Yes.
All right. So could you please tell me about your lifestyle? Like, do you exercise every day?
No.
You do not. So what kind of a job do you do for a living?
I'm an IT professional.
So because of that, you might not get enough time.
I don't get time.
No problem. So can you tell me about the food? Do you eat from home or do you depend on the cafeteria?
I love to eat from home, but as we said, time is a big problem. So I depend on the cafeteria and takeaway foods. Yeah, that's
all right. I need to ask you questions about your social habits. So do you have the habit of drinking alcohol?
Yes.
So can you tell me about, do you do it all the time or occasionally?
No. On almost every weekends I do.
Every weekends, okay. And what about smoking?
Yeah, I smoke every day.
Every day. Can you tell me the number of cigarettes you smoke a day?
Sometimes 5. When I'm too stressed out, maybe 10.
All right. Speaking about stress, I know it's a corporate field and you'll have a lot of things to be worried about. So do you feel really stressed out at work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The stress is too much. Sometimes I feel like I have to quit the job. So like that, I'm going through the stress now.
I know it might be really difficult.
Yeah.
All right. So you told me that you're experiencing some symptoms, right? So do you have any other difficulties other than the choking, shortness of breath and tiredness? Anything else?
Yes, no, see, because I'm not able to sleep properly at night, morning when I get up, I'm having severe headache.
I understand.
And I feel too much of heaviness in my eyes. Like I feel my eyes are very droopy and sunken. So this is what I feel. I don't know. Is it bad?
I know that it is really worrying you at the moment. And yes, you know, it is something that we need to look into as well, because we need sound sleep to be healthy. And from what you said, I understand that you are having interrupted sleeping pattern. But still, could you tell me about, as a whole, how many hours of sleep you get?
Nurse, I think I can only sleep for 3 hours. I would love to sleep more, but I'm not able to.
All right, okay. I understand this is something that we need to really worry about at the moment. So don't worry, we have the right measures for helping you at the moment. So from what we have discussed right now, I think that you're having a sleeping disorder called sleep apnea. Have you ever heard about it?
Oh no, this is the first time I'm coming to know the sleep apnea. Could you please tell me more about it?
Absolutely. There's nothing for you to be worried about. This is quite common these days because of all the stress and everything that you're experiencing. And you are 38 years old right now, yeah? So this is common for this age. And could you tell me about your weight as well?
Like, if you see me, I have gained few pounds here and there. So I don't think being a little bit, overweight is not a crime, right?
That's not a crime, but still, I guess from the basic body mass index, you're a bit on the higher side, right?
Yes.
And you're not doing any physical exercise, and most of the time you eat from outside.
Yeah.
So maybe these are the reasons why you're experiencing all this problem, and stress is another major cause for the sleeplessness that you're experiencing. Okay, but don't worry, since it is a lifestyle, basic lifestyle disorder, we can control it by making some modifications. So with your permission, shall I give you you some measures.
Yes, definitely.
I understand that you don't get much time because of your work to exercise, but it is very important to do that because we need to maintain an ideal body weight, especially when you're working in a corporate life. You have to give more importance to your health because the lifestyle disorders, it can lead to causes like, you know, heart conditions and other cardiovascular disorders as well. So you have to pay more attention to your health and maintain an ideal body weight. For that, you do not have to engage in rigorous activities. You can just spend 20 to 30 minutes of exercise every day, maybe jogging or brisk walking. And then it is also very important to control your alcohol consumption. You told me that you drink every weekend, so if you can control the number of units that you drink, maybe you can bring it down to 2 or 3 standard units in the weekends. And about the smoking, please make sure that you control it. You know, it is injurious to your health.
It's difficult, but yes, I will see what I can do about it.
Yes, I know it is kind of like a stress relaxation method for you, but you have a lot of other alternatives. You can try yoga, you can even do meditation, which will try to calm your mind. And when you have the urge to smoke, you can deviate yourself by doing activities that you enjoy doing. And there is nothing else for you to be worried about, but you mentioned that you're having snoring, right? So you can use nasal congestants when you feel that trouble to smoke, and try to sleep, do not sleep on your back because you're having the choking problem as well, right? So if you try all these measures, we can control the troubles that you're facing right now to an extent. Is that clear for you?
Yes.
So do you have any other concerns to ask me?
No, nurse, you've been very helpful and you told me quite a lot of things which I didn't know. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, so I just need to mention one more thing. In case if you're having more trouble, we can see the doctor because we can consider doing a surgery to remove the excess tissue that is causing all the trouble for you in these, the breathing problem that you're having. So in that, if that is the case, we can even consider talking to the doctor and seeing that. So do you want to wait to see the doctor?
I don't mind.
Alright, so if you have time, please wait for another 10 to 15 minutes of time so that we can see the doctor and discuss with the doctor as well, okay? So I hope I have cleared everything for you. Do you have any further questions to ask me?
No, nothing more, nurse.
Alright then, so thank you so much for your time and patience. Don't worry, you will be fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so we are to the end of our role play. I have a small thing to tell to all the audiences who are seeing this role play. Most of you all might be thinking when we are doing this role play, it might be 5 minutes. Sometimes it can go under length, sometimes it can go over length because this is for you all. Because we are showing you on different ways on how we can do a role play, on different ways on how we can form sentences, on different ways on how we can explain.
Exactly.
So sometimes our role plays can be a little bit lengthy ones.
Yes, we are just focusing on showing you a complete conversation
so that you will get a gist from that and so that you can incorporate that in your exam.
And you can manage the time according to that as well. What our intention is just to show you how you can tackle the entire setting and complete all the tasks as well.
So let's come to the task. This is a very common topic, like not we have seen in role play but in our daily lives.
But we have a lot of information to give here too.
Sleep apnea, because maybe any one of our family members might be having this and you might be seeing this also, but you have never seen this in a role play format, right? So there are a lot of things to be spoken about where you need to talk to the patient what sleep apnea is. You should understand from his side, right? Being an empathetic person, like you have to,
especially when it is a lifestyle cases, we have a lot of information we have to cover.
Sometimes the patient will not be happy to quit smoking, or maybe because that is the only way they are trying to de-stress themselves. So it takes some time.
Especially lifestyle modification is not very convincing for everyone because they might be adjusted with the routine. So you need a lot of convincing there, and you need to tactfully create some sentences and make sure it is for their betterment. So they have to feel like whatever the nurse is telling is for their improvement.
So I think you can give them a lot of different feedbacks on how to modify their lifestyle.
Especially when you look in the case note, you can see the sentences are pretty lengthy, the task itself. So we need to break it down and manage the time according to that. Okay. So we have a very interesting feedback session straight after this, so stay tuned.
Okay then, bye-bye.
So this is a role play where a 38-year-old approached you with complaints of lack of sleep. So we were trying to figure out all the problems, like we were trying to ask him about whether he has any ongoing medical condition or any stress related issues, and we were trying to figure out whether he has any sleeping disorder. So let's see how we can actually break it down and make simpler sentences. Actually have to maintain the time as well, right? So we will try to combine everything together and see that. Okay, so let's get started. The first one, address the concerns of the patient. Simple. So here the keyword would be address concerns. So you can simply ask, after introducing yourself, you can ask, how can I help you today? That is the task number 1. 2, assure the patient everything will be fine and collect details about his lifestyle, exercise, food, social habits, stress. So here you have to spend little time with the patient because we're trying to gather information, especially about his general exercise pattern, his food, about his social habits, and about the stress he has been experiencing. So the keyword here would be, we have to find, we are assuring the patient, that's the first keyword, then collect details, then the points mentioned in the bracket. So let's create a sentence there. Mr. David, I assure you that everything will be all right, but for my better understanding, I would like to ask you a couple more questions. Can I? So then you're getting into the questions. The first one, do you exercise regularly? Could you tell me about your eating habit? Do you have the habit of drinking alcohol? Do you have the habit of smoking cigarettes? Do you experience stress in your personal or professional life? So you covered 5 questions there. Okay, so that's how you can complete task number 2. Moving on to task number 3. Ask for the symptoms and difficulties he experiences while sleeping. In bracket, loud snoring, feeling tired, restless sleep, shortness of breath, morning headache. So here, what you have to keep in mind to manage time is that initially when you ask the patient, the first task, address the concerns, the patient will give you a lot of information. So patient might tell you a couple of symptoms there itself. So you do not have to repeatedly ask those symptoms and waste your time there. So you can say a statement here. So Mr. David, besides the symptoms you already mentioned, do you experience anything else? Simple as that. So that you're covering it completely. Okay? Or else you can even tell the patient, like, besides the symptoms you have already mentioned, do you experience, and you can pick out the things which he mentioned, he missed out from the bracket which is given. So in the bracket it is mentioned loud snoring, feeling tired, restless sleep, shortness of breath, morning headache. So say for example, in the initial part the patient told you about loud snoring, restless sleep, morning headache. So he mentioned 3 points, but he actually missed out feeling tired and shortness of breath. So what you can do is, you can create a sentence by saying, Mr. David, besides the symptoms you have already mentioned, do you experience any other issues such as feeling tired or shortness of breath, so that you're covering it too. So this is how you can manage the time. So you don't have to waste your time by asking each point by point. Okay. So let's see the next one, the 4th task. Tell the patient symptoms are suggestive of sleep apnea, sleep disorder, common in men, age, and obesity. So here you are going to figure out the keywords which are symptoms, sleep apnea, and whatever given in the bracket, just say that, just mention it. So here we can create the sentence. Based on our consultation, I can say that your symptoms are suggestive of a sleep disorder called sleep apnea. Do not worry, which is very common these days, and it is common for people of your age. And then one point is mentioned, that is obesity here. So before getting into obesity part, you have to actually ask the weight. That is how we did the role play here. Okay, because we do not have any other related conversation about that weight parameter here. So it is very important that you ask him. Okay, before you explain or before you tell him that you're overweight, just try to ask him whether he knows about his weight. Okay, so that's how you can complete that particular task. Moving on to the 5th one. Advise the patient some lifestyle changes, regular exercise, maintain ideal body weight, moderate alcohol consumption, quit smoking, don't sleep on back, nasal decongestants. So here also it is pretty lengthy because you have to cover a lot of points. The basic keyword here would be lifestyle changes. So that is what you are going to stress in this particular task. So let's see how we are going to create a sentence there. Okay. So, Mr. David, do not worry, I can provide you some measures about how you can overcome this situation by making some lifestyle modifications. Make sure that you exercise regularly for about 20 to 30 minutes, and please make sure that you maintain an ideal body weight and have a moderate alcohol consumption, and please try to quit smoking. I understand it is a stress relaxation method for you, but you can try doing some alternative measures. And also don't sleep on your back because it can cause more choking, and in case if you are unable to sleep at night and if you are having some difficulties with snoring and difficulty in choking, you can try using nasal decongestants. So here what I did was I actually tried to combine all the extra points given in the bracket by connecting everything very quickly. Okay, if you want to give more details you can do that, but manage your time according to that. The last one. When asked, tell the patient regular exercise and an ideal body weight can control sleep apnea to an extent. Surgery to remove excess tissue from throat in severe case. So here I think the patient is being reluctant and he is being apprehensive whether he can control sleep apnea. So we are telling him and we are reassuring him, yes, to an extent we can. So here the keyword would be regular exercise, ideal body weight, control sleep apnea. Okay, so let's see how we can create a sentence here. Mr. David, I understand you're apprehensive about the instructions I've told you, but I assure you that if you follow a regular exercise pattern, you can maintain an ideal body weight, which can help you to control your sleeping disorder to an extent. And in case of any severity, we can even consider a surgery to remove the excess tissue from the throat after consulting the doctor. So this is how you can complete it. So we just saw how we can create sentences for this particular task as well. So just make sure that whatever you are trying to convey, you can just create simpler sentences. And if you go beyond what is mentioned in the cue card by giving extra details, be focused about the time frame as well, okay, because you do not want to deviate from the relevant topics which is mentioned in the cue card. Stick on to the task card, give the relevant details, and rest will follow. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Keep supporting us and post your valuable feedback and suggestions in our comment box, and follow us on FB, YouTube and Instagram, and keep learning with IELT. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
IILT, it's my cup of tea.